Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar meod, gesher tsar meod, gesher tsar meod. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar meod, gesher tsar meod. V'ha'ikar, lo lefached, klal. V'ha'ikar, lo lefached klal. The entirety of the world is a very narrow bridge. But the main thing is to have no fear. The car, the essence, the main thing is to have no fear. I love that song. I love that melody. But the message is nonsense. I can't say that I agree with that message. In this crazy world of ours that continues to deny fundamental truths, we do ourselves a disservice by rejecting the honest, real emotions that come with life. Fear is real. It's real. And for anyone feeling it right now, let me tell you, it's okay. It's pretty darn understandable. It's scary out there. It's nuts out there. I mean, truly, nuts. And so it makes sense to have some fear, to have some anxiety. It's logical. That makes sense. But it's also important, it's crucial to understand what our tradition, what our peoplehood, what our Torah teaches us about living in a world filled with uncertainty. And despite Rav Nachman's beautiful and poetic words here that the entire world is a very narrow bridge, and the message, the ikar, the essence of it all, is to have no fear. To have no fear at all. I don't think that what our Torah teaches us is fearlessness. Hahefech. I think it actually teaches us the opposite. Because the foundational narratives of our texts are not about eliminating fear. Those foundational texts that we read this morning in Lecha with Abraham and Sarah being told, Lecha, go out into the unknown. At no point to say, and don't be afraid. For the different narratives of our matriarchs and patriarchs, for Moshe Rabbeinu, for those who are standing before the water as it splits open and they head into the unknown, at no part of that in our Torah, in the narratives of who we are, does it say, and by the way, don't be afraid. The foundational narrative of our texts is not about eliminating fear. It is about facing fear. Taking in the seemingly insurmountable obstacles that stand in the way of hope, freedom, and redemption, and then doing something counterintuitive, but then walking towards them to meet them head on. The ikar, the essence, is not lo lefached klal. The ikar is Lecha. It is not to have no fear. It is to go forth. To journey towards justice, goodness, dignity, and peace, while understanding that the journey is going to be long and hard and filled with moments that will make us tremble. Moments that will make us question the journey's worth, its purpose, maybe even its necessity. And in those moments, these moments, when we realize that the world is in fact a very narrow bridge, and we ask not for the transcendence of human emotion, but rather for the strength and wisdom to encounter the things that scare us most. That is the Ikar. And the important part, the crucial part, is that like Avraham Avinu, like our patriarchs and our matriarchs and the heroes of our tradition, we go out equipped. The tools that our tradition gives us for this difficult and challenging moment, it's the person sitting to your left, the person sitting to your right. It's us. Us here in this sanctuary, us here in this community, us here in this city, in this country, in this world, where the journey to the sacred and the journey to peace and respect is not a pilgrimage of the self, but a collective moment of eyes that make up an unbreakable we. That is the Ikar. That is the essence of it all. Around the world, as we speak, there are Jews taking down their mezuzot. There are Jews taking off their kippot or putting a cap over them. There are Jews tucking in their tzitzit, Jews altering their names to something less obvious or easily identifiable. And there are Jews who are avoiding Jewish spaces, Jewish buildings, Jewish gatherings altogether. And you know what? I get it. I get it. Because what they see in front of them is a world that has lost its mind. And it's scary. That fear is real. And I'm not going to tell you that it's not. But what I will say is that we have to walk towards it. We absolutely have to walk towards it. Rabbi Starr spoke beautifully on this 2 weeks ago about how now more than ever we need to be Jewish. We need to do Jewish as a clear message of defiance. But in that defiance, we also desperately need to hold and bring back our brothers and sisters who are drowning in that fear. Not to chastise them for being afraid, chas v'chalila, God forbid, but to strengthen them, empower them, comfort them with the promise that they are not alone. That what it means to be Jewish is to mean to have 16 million family members at their side, who not only have no intention of leaving them in their moment of fear, but whose very existence is predicated on the idea of journeying forward towards something beautiful together as one, with none of us left behind. It's nuts out there. It's nuts out there. It's scary. The world is on edge. The tension, the distrust, the hate, it's palpable. And fear is a pretty logical response to the times we find ourselves in. But today, dafka today, we are commanded, lechu lechem. Move yourselves. Move ourselves. Like Avram, like Shaarey, like so many people in our tradition have done before. Not to move away from the fear, but towards it. Because the world is a very narrow bridge, and there's only one way across. Together. So I'll invite you to sing with me one more time, this beautiful melody. But this time, when we get to those words, to lo lefached klal, to not be afraid at all, I want to invite you to instead hold the intention that fear is real. But the essence, the ikar, is not to eliminate it. It's to face it head on. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar meod, gesher tsar meod, gesher tsar meod. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar meod, gesher tsar meod. Ve'ha'ikar, lo lefached klal. 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 Shabbat shalom, everyone.